I'm here with you as a mother, a wife, a woman of color, and as your sister. These are Meghan's words. I'd like to read you her speech. This is Meghan and Harry at Nyanga Township. They did a lot of dancing, some very nice pictures of them dancing. Nyanga Township is, South Africa is considered the murder capital. They're in Cape Town, which is considered the murder capital. Okay, and so she's here to speak about rape. And so they did, these are just really fun pictures. And she danced with this girl. These are very young girls. I think they're all the daughters of this woman. So she looks maybe 18. She's like younger. She's younger. And this girl is like 9. You know, so like 18 to like 9. You know, Meghan got a little bit of dancing in. They look like they have good body language, Meghan and Harry, although they're not getting along. Harry danced for a moment here. Her dress, you know, she's speaking about rape. She's giving him a lot of boobage. And she unbuttoned on the bottom as well. I would have preferred for her to be a little more buttoned up. So these little children are getting some boobage. She was leading all of it, all of these school kids. Here's a kid. Okay, so here's Archie. Archie. Now this looks like a real baby. Okay, and I'm wondering if they've gotten their hands on a real baby. So maybe they have finally cast a baby in the role of Archie, because this looks like a real baby to me. Now the big elephant in the room is the farm murders. Okay, there's a lot of murder in South Africa. There's a lot of ethnic cleansing activity going on in South Africa. And a lot of it is black on black violence. Okay, the various black tribes of South Africa are murdering other black tribes, specifically migrants, immigrants. A lot of people, like here in the United States, are migrating illegally into South Africa for work. Before its final collapse. And so various gangs in South Africa, Nigerian gangs or whatever, they're going and they're just slaughtering these people in the migrant camps. And this is happening a lot. And another thing that they're doing is there's a lot of farm murders of white South Africans, and they're stealing the farms. Okay, so a lot has been made of this. And Harry and Meghan are the representatives of the crown, and I'm really wondering if the white Christian farmers of South Africa are going to feel really snubbed by Meghan and Harry, because they're just not being represented. Let's hear her speech first. All right, we are encouraged to hear your president take the next steps toward preventing gender-based violence. And this president is literally calling for the murder of white South Africans. He's done this in the Congress. I have to say, I feel incredibly humbled to be in the presence of all of you as you stand firm in your core values of respect, dignity, and equality. I read a quote a few weeks ago, and it resonated with me as I've been watching what's been happening here and your efforts. Maya Angelou, the legendary poet and civil rights activist, once said, "Each time a woman stands up for herself without knowing it, possibly without claiming it, she stands up for all women." So Meghan is harping on the women's rights. And there's terrible ethnic cleansing going on, just wholesale murder going on in South Africa, and she's talking about women's rights. Now, I know it's not easy, and I know it must feel insurmountable at times, but your commitment to what is right gives all of us hope. And one in every 200 persons here in this community that they visited is murdered. Especially your brothers and sisters here in the community who need you to continue to shine your light brightly. Your commitment is inspiring. Okay, that's just word salad. And just on one personal note, may I just say that while I'm here with my husband as a member of the royal family, I want you to know that I am here as a mother, as a wife, as a woman of color, and as your sister. I am here with you and I'm here for you. And thank you for showing us your Ubuntu spirit of togetherness. And apparently Meghan mentioned herself 42 times. Good day, YouTubers. Time for a spot of royalty. Okay, so here Meghan is clearly representing herself as in sync with the Africans. Okay, she's representing herself as a woman of color, and that's her thing here in Africa. That's her presentation now. Now, previously she went to Morocco and said that she was Moroccan, you know, looking at her Moroccan heritage. In Africa, interestingly, let's make sure I've got a nice focus here. In Africa, if your father is white, you're white. If your mother is black, you're considered black. So in South Africa, she's actually considered white. Okay, is that arbitrary? You bet. It's all arbitrary. So let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. Will the South African people receive Meghan as a woman of color, as one of them, as their sister? Okay, in that fight, and by subtraction, you know, that excludes the travail of other races in Africa, and particularly there's a lot of trouble with the farm murders and the white South Africans. White. Everyone who is not black African in Africa is considered white. I am friends with a girl who is Indian, who was born and raised in Kenya, and they considered her white. Okay, she's darker, she's very dark, but she's Indian. And in Africa, she's considered white. She's as dark as this girl. She now lives in England, and she's a doctor. Okay, so will the South African people receive Meghan as a woman of color? Let's just take a look. Are they into this? Or it can be like the LGBTQ RSTUVW crowd, you know, embracing the Muslims who hate lesbians and gays and throw them off of buildings regularly. But they pretend they're together. So what kind of union do we have here? Okay, sweet, it's for the camera, sweet, opportunistic, decision. So we have Coffin and Straight Razor. Coffin is behind his secret. Maybe, you know, Meghan did keep her African heritage. She kept the African side, the black side of her, very secret. She represented herself as Caucasian on her resumes in Hollywood. Outside forces. Okay, so strength and city. So what do we got going on here? It's very opportunistic, it's very sweet, but the basis is just a decision and secrets. Finger of God. So the royal family, Meghan and Harry, are coming from outside, okay, to help all the people and strengthen them. Okay. Well, are they accepting Meghan as a woman of color? Well, there's no twos. They're like, you know, if you want to give us money, we'll take it. That's kind of what's going on. Now, we did see a picture of a baby represented as Archie, and that looked like a real baby. I want to know, is this a real baby? And have they finally cast the role of Archie, for that child? So let's ask, is this a real baby that we saw? Because that looked like a real baby to me, and that's the first time that looked like a real baby to me. Is this a real baby? Sun, Star of Bethlehem. What is this 10 spades doing there? Okay, is this a real baby? Sun exposes all, 7 hearts, Star of Bethlehem, hamster wheel. So they got him from overseas. Revealed. Is this a real baby? So I'm looking for deception. It's not a real baby. If it's not a real baby, Magi and disaster. 23. Okay, so we have the earthquake. I think this is a real baby. This is a real baby. Okay, so they've actually, for the first time, they're showing us a real baby. Okay, and it was a disaster trying to get Archie. This is, the disaster of their marriage is first and foremost all of this craziness with Archie. All the hiding and the fake bump and the bump changing sizes. This is the disaster of their marriage, and it has really set the tone for their marriage. Okay, is this the child they're going to call Archie? Have they finally cast an Archie? And so now they finally have an Archie, and then we're going to start seeing them walk around with this baby they call Archie, and he's going to move, and he's going to giggle, and he's going to do everything babies do. Have they finally cast the role of Archie? Mother Earth. Oh my. 2 spades and Queen of Spades. Oh dear. Or they're still going to play a shell game with us. They're just borrowing this baby. And so, let's say, 2 spades hidden on the bottom. The other woman, broken relationship with the other woman in the foundation. So the surrogate wouldn't give up Archie. Have they finally cast Archie? Mother Earth on the surface, butterfly, very public, and solid foundation. 16 4 spades. No, there's still secrets. I think they're just borrowing this baby. This is Rent-A-Baby. They're just renting this baby for this trip, and they've got an actual live baby, and they're going to call him Archie, and they're going to try not to let you get as good a photo of him as you can, because later people are going to compare those photos, and they're going to say, oh, that's not the same baby. Okay, so that's why the baby's head was covered with that giant hat. Okay, so the Queen has said no bowing or curtsying to Meghan, no official greeting at the airport. Okay, they're not being greeted as royals at the airport. People are instructed to call them Harry and Meghan. No official titles. So are they not acting as royals? Are they already out? Okay, that's a good question, because if they're not royals, they're really not anything anymore. Are they out already? Fence sitter, roadblock, 7 spades. So this is a progression, okay, with Meghan and Harry. First, they were in Kensington Palace with Will and Kate, and it was the Fab Four. Everybody was very excited. Then they were removed from Kensington Palace and sent to Frogmore. And then there was various scandals. Is Meghan filming, recording? Is she pulling, what that woman did in the White House? What's going on? And then Charles removed them from his website, and now that funding is removed, and now they've been moved to Buckingham Palace with the Queen, but the Queen hasn't picked them up. So, and now they're not to be addressed as royalty. No bowing, no official greeting, not to be addressed as royalty. Are they out?
Okay, but we're just seeing the signs. We don't know yet. 10 and 7, 17, 5 hearts. We have change cards. We have 2 change cards. We have 3 change cards because this adds 5 hearts. 5, 5, 5. So everything is changing. Secretly, behind the scenes, everything is changing. And I think they're like on probation. If they really do another gaffe, they really screw up, I would actually expect the largest minority in the country, which is white South Africans, okay, or Boers, to complain that they're not being represented. They are citizens of the Commonwealth of the UK, and they're not being represented by the representatives. They're not being mentioned, they're being ignored. So there should be some kickback. Whether you believe that's an ethnic cleansing or just random murders, they need to be represented, and they're going to be upset about it, and they should be upset about it. So, I think if it's a big screw up again, and there's big gaffes and big problems, then maybe they're out. Okay, so big blockages. It looks like they're on like probation, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and they haven't been picked up by the Queen. Hand in hand, all the people. So if there's conflict with the people, 3 hearts. If there's a lot of conflict with the people, if it's huge gaffes and big problems, and they just create problems, then they're going to be removed. This doesn't say cut off. It says blocked. Behind the scenes, they're being blocked, and the royal family is reacting to circumstances. So they're not out yet. They're not out of the royal family, but they're just progressing down that road. And if there's more problems, they're going to be out. Oh. Will Harry and Meghan address the farm murders? Okay, because in Zimbabwe, they just did the same thing. They're following the Zimbabwe plan. They stole all the farms, whatever that's called, just like Venezuela. They took all the assets from the individual farmers. Zimbabwe was the breadbasket of Africa. It was feeding all of Africa. They stole all the farms. They drove out these white people, basically Christians. I think it's a war on Christians because they also use that verbiage. We want to bring back and this is a spiritual channel. This is just window dressing this physical world we live in. This is a war on Christ. They don't like Christians. And in this case, those Christians are called white people in Africa and here in America. So, which is why they hate the Jews so much, why people hate the Jews. It's all the same thing. So, will Harry and Meghan address the farm murders and the illegal land seizures? Will they address this? Will they even mention it, or will they just try to ignore it? Because if they don't, I think there's going to be problems. Oh, interesting. Because here, Meghan is identifying with the black Africans. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as Meghan and Harry also identify. Okay. So my battery went out. Happens. So are they going to address the farm murders, which is a herd of elephants running through the living room? So 2535, 9 clubs officially. So family. So so just like Meghan is she's saying, I'm a woman of color. Okay, she's trying to bond with the people who look like this. Okay, and how shallow is that? Yes, it's very shallow, but that's the world that we currently live in. They are also going to bond with the British subjects. Okay, the people who've been there for 400 years. America is 200 years old. The settlers, the European settlers, have been in South Africa for 400 years, twice as long as the United States. and they don't have any other country. They are African. So are they going to address the farm murders and the problems of the Europeans in South Africa, which is the largest minority? Man, cup overflowing, woman. It's a very emotional subject for the people of South Africa, for that minority in South Africa. So I think they are going to address it. It's very red, very positive. I feel that they need to address it. It's a very big problem, and many are calling it a genocide. And I think there's multiple genocides occurring in South Africa, and they're denying all of them. As I said, there's a lot of black-on-black violence, and the Hutus are killing the Tutsis, and the Nigerians are killing, various, and it's all these people migrating into the country. And they're just going into these camps and slaughtering them. They're also doing this to the Europeans on their farms. So these are big problems. That's a society. South Africa is a failed state. It's becoming a failed state. It's 1 millimeter from just completely collapsing. And I believe it's going to collapse. And you have to address those issues. Is there going to be some serious backlash? Are people going to be really offended? Is there going to be some serious backlash from Meghan and Harry's trip? Or is it going to be positive PR and finally Meghan and Harry are on a better track? Positive or negative PR for them? Because these are very nice photos. This looks like very good PR. Okay, positive or negative PR, or is there going to be a lot of backlash? 9 and 13, 22, all the people, player representing to all the people, public representation, transformation of their message very decisively, a very decisive transformation of their message to all the people, a very decisive transformation of their message to all the people. Okay. I think this is fairly positive, but I don't like the executioner, the player and the executioner. I think it's kind of seen as just presentation. It's much more presentation than feeling it from the heart. Here, these people are really upset and they really feel it in their heart. They're very upset about what's happening in their land. Okay? They're very upset about it. And this is very genuine. This is very disingenuous. So I think they're going to send good messages. I think people are going to like the words, even though they throw in a lot of word salad, meaningless words, word salad. Like, what are you even talking about? We're inspired and all that crap that they say. That the social justice people say, because Meghan is very social justice, and it's all just meaningless word salad. So I think they're really going to like their words, but they're not going to feel that it's genuine yet. So I think they're going to like their words. They're going to make a better impression, I think. I don't see people rioting and burning stuff. At this point, I don't see them really upset at Meghan and Harry, but I don't see them really convinced that they mean this, that they really mean the words that they're saying. That's what I'm seeing. All right, so let's take a look at this. So Meghan is really, I'm a woman. I'm a woman of color. I'm just like you. We're sisters. Okay, I stand with you. Are they loving it? Is it McDonald's? Are they loving it? Well, there's no twos. There's no joining, okay? And there's secrets and a decision. So they're coming in from the outside to help, okay? And so they're keeping their feelings to themselves. The African people are keeping their feelings to themselves. And by African people, that's all the races living in Africa. There's every race living in Africa right now, just like the United States. So they're going to like it, and they're going to accept the gifts. You know, if you want to give me money, hey, okay, give me money. They're going to accept it, but they're not embracing Meghan as a person of color, as what she's representing herself. They're going to accept the gifts, but they're not embracing her as a sister. Is this a real baby? Yes, I think this is a real baby. Interestingly, okay, and this is they're fixing the disaster of the adoption from the surrogate. Have they finally cast an Archie? No, they're still not casting an Archie. This is a temporary fix. This is a Band-Aid. This is a Band-Aid baby, and they're just showing you a real baby because people are like, you better show us a real baby. And they still haven't cast Archie. I don't see them having cast Archie, so they're going to show you other babies. There's other lassies. There's like 7 lassies, and they all look very similar. So they're going to show you other babies, and they're going to call those babies Archie, and that's why his head is covered, okay, in the hot African sun, although it could be cool in the plane. Okay, there's no titles. Nobody's allowed to bow to them. They're specifically instructed to call them Meghan and Harry. Are they out of the royal family? Is this a sign that they're out of the royal family? This is behind the scenes, there are huge problems for them. Change. Everything is changing for them. And it depends on if they create a lot of conflict with the people. If they're going to do huge gaffes again, that's going to be a problem for Meghan and Harry, and then they're going to take further steps to get rid of them. They're like on probation. It's like they've been released from prison, and the parole officer is watching them now. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, so will Harry and Meghan address the land seizures and these terrible murders of the European settlers, which they are the largest ethnic minority in the land? At 16%, they're the largest minority. This is a very, very emotional issue, and they're going to, just like Meghan is saying, I'm your sister, I'm a woman of color, and I'm your sister, they're going to, Four Hearts, they're going to say, you know, we stand with you, and we're going to do what we can about this very emotional issue. Okay, so are they going to make a positive or a negative presentation? Are they going to do huge gaffes, or are they going to hit it out of the park? They're not going to hit it out of the park. The words are going to be nice. Okay, this is a deception card. This is a deception card. This is a strong decision. I think the people of Africa, all of the ethnic groups of Africa, in South Africa, they're going to like what they're saying. They're going to like the gifts that are being given, but they're very unconvinced. And that's what I see. So hopefully they're not going to make a huge screw up. And they're on tenterhooks at this point. Their position in the royal family is really tentative, and they're right on the verge of being kicked out entirely. So that's your royalty today. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment.